Some of you may remember that this used to be a paragliding channel back in the day when I had 25 subscribers. And now we're at 370, so we've grown a lot, and thank you to all of you that subscribed. Now, I have quite recently made the conscious decision that I will not be paragliding anymore. And I want to discuss with you the reasons of why I decided to do that. So, Beyond Cloudbase, right? That's a name for a paragliding channel, or at least aviation channel. And I genuinely loved paragliding, and I love aviation. And I did that a lot back when I was in Hungary. But when we came here and came over, I wanted to do it. I even made a video about that. Like I passed the test, and I had the insurance, and I had the papers and everything else that were necessary for that to continue. I even renewed my pilot's medical in order to do that. But then something changed, and I think it's mainly for the risk of it. Now, I will take calculated risk, right? Come on, I moved countries, like that's risk in itself, but the risks that I'm taking are always the kind of calculated ones where the amount of shit that can happen is quite limited. And what I've seen is that with paragliding, it's an inherently risky sport, and a lot of people that I've known, even people in my club, some of the instructors there had serious accidents. Like one guy broke his leg, another guy that I look up to very much, he had a crash where he broke a lot of his ribs. So there has been people, and too many people, that have almost made it to a wheelchair. There has been an incident 2 years ago when a guy in Hungary got into an ST collapse, his paraglider collapsed. He threw his reserve parachute, as he should. The reserve parachute opened and he landed on a tree well and fine without no significant injuries. So he was fine. And then a military helicopter came to his rescue and with its downwash broke the tree on which the guy was sitting. The guy fell off the tree and died. It's just one of those examples that even when you do everything you can, you do everything well and right, you still cannot minimize the risk enough for it to be safe enough. So during my flying, I tried to do everything that I can to minimize the risk. I went through the course, I have the medical, and I went through the advanced course. I went through the simulated emergency training, the SIOV, and I even did an extra step that I tried my reserve parachute. I even did that, I made a video on that, did quite well. But even against all of those, it seems to me that you cannot minimize the risk in paragliding to a level that I found acceptable. And also the flying here in Denmark, they don't have reserves. Of course, we don't have mountains here. Some people are flying by winch, so they pull you up, and then you can look for thermals. You can do that, but what most people are doing is they are flying ridge on or dunes rather, and that's on a very, very small height, very small altitude. So if something were to happen there, you're toast. There's not enough time for you to open your reserve, and so most people don't even fly with the reserve. So that's another layer of safety taken away from you. Another thing that came in my decision is the practicality and the money aspect of it. A lot of these dunes that people are flying in Denmark, there are people flying, so the sport exists. It's just usually when the weather permits to fly in the dunes, the wind is quite strong, so a lot of people are flying small and fast wings, and so I would have to buy one, but then there are a lot of other things that I could spend my money on. Also, the equipment that I had has timed out. Paraglider wings, they have a lifetime of roughly 200 to 500 hours. After a certain time, they're not usable, they're not safe anymore, and that's why in Hungary at least we had to get them tested every year to make sure that they are airworthy. And the equipment that I owned was nearing the end of its lifetime, so I would have had to buy another one. So I remember last summer, when I did that training flight where I had to pass that exam and go out with an instructor who checked how I'm flying and what I'm doing. I remember I was hopeful. I even said that I can't wait to explore these dunes and whatever. But I made the decision not to do that. And I'm making this video because I want to normalize that, and I want to normalize making decisions that something's not for us anymore, and we want to stop doing it because it doesn't make sense. And unfortunately, and this is bittersweet to say because I genuinely loved paragliding. I had such amazing memories when I could fly across country, like landing somewhere else than when you took up from, or the first time where I reached cloud base using a thermal, my own dexterity and cleverness, and just using nature. I think those are amazing experiences, and I'm really grateful to have them. But it is time to say that this doesn't work anymore. That doesn't mean that I will get rid of aviation. The name of the channel is still Beyond Cloud Base, and I really hope that there will be a time, not so far anyway, where I will have the option to get back into aviation. But it's not going to be paragliding anymore. It's going to be something that's safer and something that is more sustainable in my life, also with the time aspect of it anyway. So I think there's like a new beginning there somewhere in the future, but it's not paragliding for me anymore. Have you been in similar situations? Does that relate to you? If it does, please tell me in the comments. I'm looking forward to learning about your experience. So that's my story. Thank you for listening. I appreciate, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for joining.